Whether we find it ourselves, whether someone's out walking and sees it, or a road crew or a group of people doing roadside cleanups come upon them, that's what's on the street for my 6-year-old to pick up. So, with that being said, let me explain to you how law enforcement works. What we do is ultimately someone's addicted to drugs and they get arrested. Obviously, we're the ones making the arrest. From there, we file the charges. From there, they go to the magistrates for a preliminary hearing, to the court of common pleas to get sentenced, and then they get put on some type of a punishment, whether it be jail, probation, whatever. Typically, we're running into them again, and we're arresting them again. So, since then, during my interviews, I'm going to say in the last 6 months, I started talking to these people that we were arresting and trying to get more of a knowledge as to why. We don't understand, because once again, I label them. I label them as a police officer, as a woodchuck. They're out there, they're doing what they have to do to get their drug, they're creating more crimes, they're making my life harder because they're carrying guns. Why? And it's the addiction. That's what it amounts to, is the addiction. Real quick, an addiction is an illness. I have high blood pressure. If I don't take my high blood pressure medicine, I'm going to have a stroke or a heart attack. Same things with these folks. They have an addiction. So to get them better, what do we have to do? We have to get them into education, into sobriety, and that means they have to go to treatment, because us talking to them isn't treatment and it's not going to work. But in order to get them there, statistically, 2 things need to happen. They need to have a change in life. And one of them is putting them under arrest, arresting them. That's a change. We just took everything they had away from them. Secondly, they need to hit rock bottom. They're the only 2 things that I'm seeing that's going to really change somebody and make them follow through. So, with that being said, recently, out of our last few arrests, I'm going to compliment Judge Carlson with this, but at the preliminary hearing, he originally was going to throw these folks into jail, which he ends up doing. And concurrent with jail was to go to treatment. So as soon as a bed became available for these folks, they didn't spend their time in jail, they went off to treatment. And one specifically came out of treatment and went into a halfway house and continued treatment. So that, I think, in itself is a huge mark, because that's what these folks need. Obviously, we are still charging them because we need to do our job also. But ultimately, they need to get help, because it's not going to stop. If we don't get this to stop, right now, technically, when we go to the schools, who are we talking to? We're not talking to 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders, because they don't want to hear from us. I'm going back and talking to 6th graders, 5th graders, and 4th graders about heroin, about these things. So the point of this today is once again teamwork, is the North Penn Area Concerned Citizens is also, in coordination with doing this education part, is going around to different communities, and I know we already had it in the borough of Blossburg as far as a community crime watch. It's been laid low for a while. No one was really participating in it. And they're once again trying to pick that back up. And I urge everybody to participate. If you see something happening, I can't be, or none of my other officers can be everywhere at all times. You see something going down, you need to notify us so we can get to it. Because without it, that just happened. That could have been a kid overdosing right there that we could have been to and stopped the buy from happening for him to overdose. Could it be? Could not be. We don't know. And you don't know, but without reporting it, we can't be there to help. So I urge, after this is all said and done today, I urge that you guys meet up with Lynn Thompson and ask her about it. I know she's gone to other townships, not just Blossburg Borough, Hamilton, Bloss, Covington, Richmond, and she can name more, to get everybody in the county on board, because it's more than law enforcement can handle. It really is. Also, after it's all said and done, I have a display over here. There's a lot of folks in here that were talking I don't know what drugs are, or I don't know what to look for. That's why I brought a display. When I'm done, when it's all done, I will go over there and I'll explain to each one of you as you come through the line, what everything is that I've brought. But the bottom line is, guys, is we need to learn about the drug, whether you research it, whatever. But the main thing is enabling. I guarantee you, myself, Chief of Police of Blossburg, have family members that are addicts. And I can tell you, I've gone to them and gave them $10 for gas. That's not where it went. But that just bought them a bag of heroin or a 6-pack of beer. That's the problem. We all enable. And that's the other thing that we've got to learn that not to do. It's hard to do. It's hard to accept. But by your nephew, niece, son, daughter, whoever it may be, comes and says, Mom, Dad, Aunt, and Uncle, I need $20 for gas. That just bought them 2 packs of heroin in Williamsport. Not picking on Williamsport, I'm just saying that's where, between there and New York State's where we're getting it. Now, Williamsport's issue is Philly. I mean, I can tell you right now that we've made an arrest in our own borough that the kid skipped Williamsport and went right to Philly and was making $4,000 a day on selling heroin. So it's everywhere. I mean, he grew bigger than Williamsport. He realized he could get a bigger abundance of it in Philly. It's an epidemic, and we know that. But we need your guys' help to help stop the epidemic. So our kids can sit here and listen to this and not be dead. I mean, ultimately, overdoses are every day. We're losing people in our county weekly because of heroin. All right? If you have any questions, like I said, I'll be over here. After this is done, you may feel free to speak to me there. Thank you.
Thank you.